Hello, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of this farmer training series. It's been a pleasure having all of you from the first episode to the second, and now we are in the third. Like, it's been mind blowing practical sessions back to back. Like, thank you all. Welcome back again. So, you know the drill. Tell us where you're watching from in the comment section. Tell us your name and where you're watching from. We want to know where you are watching us from. So, share this broadcast as well to as many people that you can find out there. Share your WhatsApp status on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Broadcast it everywhere, including Telegram. Let's have more people join us live in this show. Today, we are going to be looking at practical session on pig farming. Like, we have an expert in pig farming who is going to take us through the step-by-step process of going about starting a pig farm. So just sit tight, relax as usual, get a drink, get a soda, anything to keep yourself comfortable. Get your book and a pen because there is a lot you're going to take out from this session. So without wasting much time, let's get into the business of today, where we have Mr. James Emeka Jeremiah, the CEO of BIPOC.com. He's the one that is going to be teaching us everything we need to know about poultry farming. All right, guys, let's get into it. Enjoy.
Hello guys, my name is James Emeka Jeremiah, the CEO and one of the co-founders of BIPOC. BIPOC is an initiative that engages regular people, anybody to invest in pig farming, whereby we gift one of 10% of the investment to the less privileges. So you're all welcome to our farm, and you can just follow me in so that I'll show you part of the farm and other aspects we're going to be discussing about today. So uh, we're going to be talking about how you can invest your money into pig farming, how you can actually start up a pig farming business, and how lucrative pig farming is all about. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. I would actually like to start with this. How can one kickstart pig farming business relative to either maybe construction and all that? I don't want to start with maybe you need to start breeding or you need to start doing other those ones I'm going to get back to them later. But I want to tell you about how you can kickstart pig farming business. Basically, if you really want to go into pig farming business, well, you need to understand that it is very one, although it is lucrative, but it is very tedious. Are you getting? It's not something you just go into and be like, money there is too much, guy. If you do pig farm business, like before 1 or 2, 3 years, you just see yourself massive growth and every that in reproduction will be high. Good and fine, they are very, very much lucrative. You will see reproduction, but are you ready to take the task, the risk, even involved in the business and every other thing? But you listening to this, you actually have to learn from this thing we are going to be telling you today, and starting up wouldn't be a problem. One, capital is always involved in any business you want to go into in life, that's for sure. But what are you going to use this capital for? That's another question you need to ask yourself. Because if you just have capital and you don't know what to use those capital for, despite the fact you want to go into pig farming business, you end up buying those animals and you find out those animals will end up being, they will just, maybe mortality rate will be very high, and you end up losing your money, your capital you involve in any business you go into. So basically, it's for you to know what you're actually going into. And one is that relative to the pens you are going to be constructing, like how big, how will the size of the room be? Those are the things you need to understand. Will I just come and just go and, okay, I don't have enough capital, but I want to bring in enough animals? If you only have 3 rooms and you want to be farming 200 pigs, that's where you are getting everything wrong. You can't do more than at least 20, let's just say 20 or 10, depending on the sizes of the room. There are some rooms you have, you only need, what I say, even if it is 2 rooms, because those animals are not much. But if you are actually going for much animals based on your capital you have, where we are talking about larger number of rooms, like that's pen. I'm talking about pens now because that's the terminology used for animal rooms. You understand? Number of the pens you're going to be have, their cubits, how their cubits will look like, both the cubits for water and also the cubits for their feeding. those things need to be structured. If you don't have the money for architectural designs relative to getting your penthouse uh, actually okay, you understand, at least the manual laborers that will be able to construct your penthouse, they should know what you want and how the standard of your family to be, you understand. So getting a well constructed pen is very important in any pig farming, in any pig farming business at all anywhere. So the pen house is important and you need to know how it's going to look like. Still based on things required for pig farming business, it's not only maybe you've gotten the pens ready. Are you getting? You still need, basically need is water. Are you understanding? If there's no water, because it depends on the size of animals or pigs you'll be bringing into your farm, because normally pigs need water more to survive and for their growth too, even in their feeding mixture and all that. We'll still come to that aspect. So water is a paramount, uh, will I say, commodity for your farm. You must, if you're not drilling a borehole, like what's it called? If you're not drilling a sumo, or if you're not getting anything around, you must get a place nearby you can get access of water to your farm. That's very important. Outside water, you still need other things like a storehouse for your feed. You need a storehouse. After constructing the pen, you need a storehouse where you can keep your feeds, where water can't touch those feed for maybe getting them spoiled and all that. Those ones are also important. Those ones can be, what's it called? Can be met rather. You see that things will go well when you kickstart your farm business. So still based on the aspect of constructing or getting requirements for your farm business. If you don't have enough capital, that's another question. Be like, okay, I don't have much money to put now. Good and fine for construction or for fees, because anything that has to do with construction is a fixed dep like is a fixed what's it called? Investment. You are not getting anything from it as a return, you understand? So if you cannot invest in constructing a penthouse, there are other bigger farmers that has a lot of pens that are empty, which they are looking forward to. Maybe if there's anybody that wants to rent or get a lease of all these pens, they can lease out. Good and fine. Depending on the number of animals you want to go for, you can actually be like, okay, let me get a place where I can get for a lease, maybe 6 pens and all that. Just like as you see here now, this place is actually for lease, as you can see. This place now is on lease. These are extra pens that we kept just to, for any farmer that wants to go into pig farming in this aspect. So it's not everything that be like, okay, I want to build my own what's it called? I want to build my own penthouse. If I don't have the capital, you can go for lease. And a lease of penthouse, at least depending on the farmer you met or individual that want to lease his or her pen, might be giving you maybe 30,000 naira, maybe based in 6 months per pen, or maybe relative to the number of pen you'll be getting. So that's just it. That one is a personal agreement between you and the leaser, or you that want to lease to. So that's what I can say about that. If you don't have enough capital in putting in pen house, you understand. So that's what I will say about that. Before you now talk about, okay, how then do I kickstart by breeding, or how then do I kickstart by getting my animals and all that. Okay, still based on the things like requirements you still need in your farm, like equipment and all that. You should know that you need a shovel, you need a wheelbarrow, you need an air pan, bucket which you will be using for getting water in, putting into their cubits, the cubit for water actually. And also you need a cubit for mixing. Maybe if you don't have access of maybe any room where you can mix your food, you should actually get a cubit like this for mixing, where you can actually pour in your feed, pour in water as well, and mix your feed comfortably with shovel and all that, whereby you use your head pan to distribute the feed into the various pens around your farm. You understand? Those are the basic things that you actually need for now. Not much things that you need outside these things I've mentioned. The wheelbarrow, shovel, your head pan, buckets. I did not say bucket, buckets. Most importantly, when you have a GP tank, you should know that access of water will be more easier. So when you get a GP tank, just get water whereby it can be use that bucket rather, just bucket using serving them in their various forms. So those are the basic needs. No any other thing actually you need outside these things I've mentioned. Any other one maybe is an advanced farm. Like when I mean advanced farm, modernized farm over there abroad. I don't know. But for now, what I can tell you for a start, these are the things you need to start with. Okay, relative to the birth rate or the reproduction of sows in any given farm, most importantly, it depends on how you feed your animal or how you feed your sows or the kind of bore you using crossing your sow. But the truth remains that it mostly depends on the rate at which you feed your sows. So relative to how you feed your source determines what number of reproductions or how many number of liters your animal is going to give you. If you feed your soil less, you understand, you should be actually expecting less. You get. And again, if you feed them higher, you should actually know that you'll be getting more reproduction. But mostly, I do tell people the rate at which I can tell you, okay, the least possible birth rate I can give you as a starter or what you should be expecting from your soil. Least possible birth rate. I said least possible. I did not say at most. I'm saying at least now, mathematically. So the least possible birth rate which I can tell you is your soil can give you at least 5. When I mean at least 5. As you can see, this is a soil here. Already delivered was not last month 10th of last month. So they are all here. See them, they are looking healthy, and see them, their mother here is actually eating and them are playing around. So it depends on how you feed them, that's how they will look, you get. So that's that in that aspect. And again, most importantly, one of the things I discovered in relative to breeding up winners, or we call them winners, or we call them piglets in other terminology. Some people win their piglets within, let's just say, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Most people win 8 weeks, which is 2 months. But as of last year, I discovered that if you give your piglets more time to stay with their mom or the source, you understand, they will gain more their immune system will be more stronger, because I do leave mine to stay for 3 months, which approximately 12 weeks. Now, the immune system are stronger. You don't need to spend much more money in maybe vaccination or their medical care. But actually, you need to also still give them medical care. But you don't need to spend much more money in giving them medical care because they've stayed more time with their mother, and that gives them more strength. That gives them more strength and all that. So that's what I can tell you relative to feeding, or rather breeding of your piglets to a marketable size. For a start, they need to stay more with their mom, as for them to suck more of the breast and get more milk from that, and also get a stronger immune system that can withstand cold and all that, like their destination for lung problem which affect them for cold. They die easily, maybe causing them diarrhea to just and also again, still based on the aspect of vaccination and all that, relative to their treatment and medication. You should know that at least in every 3 months you should deworm them. At least in every 3 months, meaning that you can, at most rather, meaning that you can deworm them in 2 months time, in 3 months time intervals. So this is actually a medicine for deworming. You can go to the market and say you need a deworm medicine, they'll give you Evernorm, you got. So that's that. And know that you don't deworm a pregnant sow, a sow that have already been crossed, that is already pregnant. Don't deworm them. The only ones you have to deworm are actually maybe the poker level animals, and also uh, the ones that have not yet been crossed and all that. So you don't deworm a sow that is already pregnant intake already. So you only maybe rather give them more of vitamin and maybe LA. You talk about LA now. LA now is for the, the piglets. These ones now they've been injected LA, vitamin, and the other one for the lung, for which makes them not to feel cold, like helps their lungs for survival, giving them more lifespan, rather not to maybe get sick easily and maybe for loss for mortality rate and all that. So that's what I'll be talking about relative to that aspect for medication. And again, if you know you cannot maybe do the medication yourself, there are different types of giving vaccinating them. Is either you maybe probably get a veterinary doctor to inject them, because there are some you need to inject and there are some you need to give them through oral medication. That oral medication now, that one has to do with their lungs. That's why that one has to prevent them from cold and all that. That one goes for oral vaccination. That's oral injection. Then other ones that has to do with maybe injecting them and all that. If you cannot do that, you actually need a veterinary doctor or someone that is inclined in animal science. You understand? That can help you out in all this. So that is in that aspect. On the aspect of how do you invest in pig farming business relative to, okay, how do I start breeding animals, or how do I buy from winner stage like piglets and sell them when they are mature. Now it depends on your capital. There's a reason why I said that, because if you're only going for maybe breeding, you want more of reproduction in your farm. It simply means you're not going for piglets. You get, it's either okay, you are going for more of the sows that are already crossed or the pregnant ones. One, those ones are more expensive because, like the ones we have here that have already been crossed, at least one is sold for 50,000 naira per one. While the one that is already, that within a short period of time you're going to be giving birth or going to be littering, those ones go for at least 90,000 naira. So that's why I said in that aspect they are more expensive, but you don't need more. Like you are not going to spend much time in breeding and in all that. Maybe much time putting more effort in seeing that your farm grows. You see that when you have enough source in your farm will grow faster, but it's more expensive. And in the aspect of, okay, how do I get winners? How do I start bringing up piglets and all that? Good and fine. Relative to what we've talked about, relative to the pens, the number of pens you need to get in your farmhouse. Now boils down to how many number of animals, how many number of winners you will be going for. Now, at least the winners you'll be going for should be at least 2 months old, depending on the farm, or 2 months, 2 weeks old, depending on the farm, or 3 months at most. Now, relative to winners, while you don't want to go for winners, you might go for pokers, but their price ranges, or their price tag ranges based on their sizes. Good for winners, you can see in other farms at most maybe 5,000, in other farm at most 5,000 naira. So now, for example, if you are going for maybe 100 or 50 piglets, you should know that you have a particular capital for that. Not only that, based on the number of animals you have, do you have the amount to use in feeding them to marketable size? Because if you don't have the amount in feeding them to marketable size and you are stocking animals, it will boil down to you, because at the long run you will waste your money in even giving them buying feed for them. At the long run you will not get anything. You keep on spending money on feeding, and you think you are feeding them without knowing that you're not feeding them the way they're supposed to, because you stock more animal more than your capital. So that's in that aspect. Okay, still based on the question on how can one get piglets winners in breeding and when can you sell them off. Now, after getting your piglet, depending on the rate at which the farmer or the seller is giving them to you. I told you some can give you at the rate of 5,000 naira, some can give you at the rate of 5,500, and some can give you at the rate of 6,000 naira. These are winners now, depending on their sizes and depending on the farm which you're getting them from. Another thing is the feeding. Now, in the feeding aspect, you need some feeding formula based on how you need to fatten them up and sell them as to get back your interest and maybe your capital in the most importantly. So at least 4 months is okay to fatten up your animals and sell them off. I'm going to be telling you what formulas other people use in their farm. Like for us, we use PKC, we use both soybean dust, maize, and together with blood meal. Now, we use the ratio of PKC 50 kg to 25 kg of blood meal, together with other supplements which I've already made mention, which are the soybean, the maize, and all that. So another thing is that if you don't have enough money to buy all these things because they are more expensive, you can just basically rely on PKC and blood meal. I don't know if you're getting me. PKC and blood meal. Ratio 1 bag to ratio 25 kilogram to 25 kg of blood meal. If you are mixing 2 bags, depending on the number of animals you have, that will be 2 bags of PKC, which is 100 kilogram, to 2 kegs of blood meal, which is 50 kilogram. Mixing them together with water and dispatching the feeds to the different pens you might be having in your farm related to the number of animals you have. But if you still want to enrich your farm or to enrich the animals the more for them to be fatting up more, you still need soybean because it's important, and also maize. For other farmers, some other farmers don't even use PKC. Some actually spend more money in buying soybean and maize for their mixtures. And when they buy this soybean and maize, they buy it in a larger quantity and also feed them, use them as a feeding formula for their animals. While in other farms, some farmers don't use blood meal. One, because they might be saying it's contaminated and all that. But I tell you, blood meal has at least 60% of protein in it that can fatten up your animals as for your pigs anywhere, anytime. So blood meal is important for feed formula. That's what I will tell you. But other farmers might not really tell you, might not even want to tell you what their formulas are in giving to their animals that boost their immune system for fast growth and all that. So that is what I'll be telling you in that aspect of fattening up your animals. And at that stage of 4 months, at least the animal you bought at the rate of 6,000 naira or 5,500 or 5,000 naira that is well fed relative to the number of feed per day you give them or twice in a day, you understand, you go for at least 18,000 naira. Meaning that at least 18,000 naira, you can sell even at most 30, 25, depending on the body weight of the animal. So in that aspect, that's where I'll be stopping for breeding of animals or getting a piglet, how I can breed up my piglets and when I can sell them off, how much I can sell them, and that. Okay, still based on the food supplement we made mention, these are actually the ones that are here for now, which we had already made orders for the ones to come for today, for this month rather, because most of the feed we have currently in the farm have been exhausted and we need to replace them. But the current ones that are still here are these. We have the PKC here. It looks like sand, but it is not sand. And what does PKC means? PKC, some farmers call it pan kernel chaff, but it's not actually chaff, but it's called pan kernel cake. That's PKC, pan kernel cake. And we also have soya bean, this soya bean chaff, but this not the only one that should be as a supplement for the PKC or an ingredient uh, formula for the PKC. You still need the soybean dust. You understand? You still need maize, which is the formula we've been using in our own farm, and you need blood meal. With these formulas, relative to the ratio of 2 kg, that's 2 bags, that's 100 kg of PKC to 225 kg of blood meal, which is 50 kg, and 10 kilogram of these. Are you getting 10 kilogram of soybean dust, soybean chaff, and maize together? Each day you come to feed your animals, mixing them all with water. You can distribute them to your pens and all that. So these are the things which you actually need to know relative to feeding. But not all farmers will actually tell you what they do or what their what's it called their formulas are for giving their animals or their pigs or their piglets or their sows or their boars, depending on the number of animals you're having or the rate at which you have your animals or anything in your farm. So, but know that most important thing, you need to feed your animal well. How? By giving them either you based on PKC or not. Some farmers also don't actually feed on PKC. Their mixtures are either only on maize or what's it called? Soybean mixture together with maize. So depending on the money you have and what your capitals are, that is what you need to go for. Or you want to go for only blood meal and PKC, you want to go for only maize and PKC, or you want to go for only maize, soybean and PKC, or you want to go for most of the ingredients we use in our own farm. So that is that about that. I believe with all these, if you really want to kickstart your own farm, with all these things I made mention, starting from the pen is either you construct one or you go for lease, starting from getting a water, starting from getting the normal equipment needed relative to wheelbarrow, borehole, maybe shovel, headpan, and all that, starting from the feed formula and the workers you also need to help you in the farm because the work is not that easy. Only you cannot carry them out relative to the number of animals you have. So with all these things, I believe you can do well in starting up your own piggery farm. Now, another thing we are still going to be talking about in the next slide is when do you know or when do you think a sow is ready for breeding? Or when do you think a sow is ready for crossing and all that? So I'll be talking about that in the next slide. Okay, based on the number of times a sow can actually litter or the frequency at which it can breed in a year, at most, I would say it's twice in a year. But you can still have 3 times in a year. But at most, I would say it's twice. Why the reason I said at most twice a year? For example, if you're crossing your sow, let's just say January, and it's actually 2 you should know that it will take that sow 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days to litter, which is to reproduce. And you don't expect after giving birth for you to start selling off the animals. It's not possible. They still need to suck from the sow, which is their mother. They still need to gain and they still need to add body weight before you can wean them into their own room. You understand what I'm saying? So it will take at least extra more 2 months to wean those animals properly into their own room. That's why I said twice a year or at most 3 times in a year for a sow to be what to be crossed in a year. That is just that.
Don't finish. Don't finish.
Okay, this might be funny, but I tell you it's not funny. It's also important. Some of you are saying, how do you know when to start crossing your animal or when to start crossing a sow? It's not difficult though, but the truth is that depending on the number of sows you have in your farm and depending on the time you bought them first, you understand? You actually bought this animal at a particular time at a smaller size and you expect them to start growing and you want them to give birth at a particular period of time. Good and fine. If, for example, they've stayed for like 4 months, you understand? Now, you need to serve them a boa rather, and that boa is the male aspect of the pig you get. So, when this spore is served in their respective pen, one, this ball normally as a man now, you no go maybe just stay in the room without your female dey with you here now, you understand. The ball will like to disturb them, and whereby disturbing them, it will cause the soil actually to enter into their heat period. And when the soil enters its heat period, it will give a sign. You will actually notice that, oh, this soil is already on heat. How? You check through their anus. Their anus at times turns red, reddish color. You know that this soil is already on heat. And when they're on their heat, you will see within 2 days or 3 days, you see that ball crossing them. You understand? The ball starts crossing them, and actually before 2 weeks or so, you also need to serve that boa extra. That's how you actually know, okay, this one is actually, you need to start, okay, this one has been crossbreed, this one within the short period of time, this one should be able to give birth and all that. So nothing is like, this is critical, you need to know the time frame at which you start need to cross them. Depends on when you want them to cross. And some people might just leave their soil there without what's it called, bringing in a boa. The soil will be there. It will not actually do anything, because somebody that is not seeing a man, will he get pregnant? Is it Mary, the mother of Jesus? No. But as far as you are seeing a man, you understand, you actually take in, and that is the need of a boa in a farm. And when there's a boa in the farm, you will see that it will disturb that female, and whereby disturbing that female, it will help that female, or that soil rather, to enter its heat period. And when it enter into that heat period, it helps the boa actually to cross the, what's it called, to cross the soil. And to God be the glory, you see that your soil in the next 4 months, which is 3 weeks, 3 months and 3 days, rather 3 months, 3 weeks and 3 days, you see it littering, and you'll be very happy seeing the fruits of your labor. Okay, still based on the aspect of investment, or on how you can start up your pig farming. I've made mention of that earlier. Some people actually don't know how to maybe start stressing themselves and you know, carrying the work, doing more of the work and all that, but they want money, and they also love what you are doing. Another way, you that doesn't want this too much stress, you can actually say, okay, guys, or this particular farm, can I partner with you guys? Partnering in the way that, okay, help me and raise this number of animal, maybe 20 pieces of animal. I'll give you the money for feeding, money for buying them, and money to bring them up to the marketable size. You get? Or okay, take this money. Anytime what's the number of cycle you give me to come and collect back my money with interest? You understand? In a way, you are adding to the society as well, and you are adding value to that same farm without maybe not allowing your animal to lie. You're not allowing your money rather to lie fallow in the bank account. So in this way, I told you about our platform where I'm the CEO and also the co-founder of Bipop rather, which is the basic subsidiary of Jet Farm Enterprise. So on our platform, I said we engage individual, anybody, both high income earners, low income earners, average income earners, anybody, to invest in pig farming through their what? Through their mobile phones. We have our platform www.buypop.com. You invest in this platform, and we use your invested money, which is your capital, which has been invested in our platform. We use in what? In farming, because we do all the works. We farm, we feed, we insure the animals, and we sell off the animals, one, as to pay you back your investment with interest, and also to gift the less privileges or any poor home in our community. Meaning that we give 10% of our investment package towards less privileges in our community after we've paid your interest and your capital. You get what I'm saying? So in either way, is either you invest with us through our platform, or you start your own pig farming where you are, or you partner with other people you think are okay. You get? So that is all I can tell you for now. And I believe when you start your own farm, you will actually succeed and have more knowledge about pig farming. Most importantly, in farm management or in pig farm management, maintenance is highly important. And this maintenance now boils down to both the hygienic way of keeping the farm clean and uh, relative to the health of the animals. You see, the dungs of these animals actually, if it's left in their pens, it smells. But how do you keep them clean? One is that you need to pack the dungs. It's either you get a deep. That deep is either a pit, but at least very big, where you can be putting the dungs so that they will dry. Maybe rather, maybe you sell it out at the end of, because it's also economical in a way by bringing in income into the farm. People actually buy the dungs to at least a form of manure to use in is it watering their farm like vegetables and all that. So if you know you actually basically want to go into pig farming business, you need a pit or a deep. In this way, you can actually make sure that your farm are being kept. And again, you need a Isaiah. All these things are also important. Isaiah, uh, this for washing the pens at least once in a day or twice in a week or three times in a week. Or if you want to keep washing them every day, you understand, you wash them, you pack the dungs, and you put them in the deep. But if you cannot do them every day, you can actually, most importantly, pack the dungs every day. But if you don't want to wash them every day, you can just keep them for like 2 or 3 days, you wash them off. But it's highly important so that to add to giving your farm a well organized place. It will reduce the smell and also give you uh a high respect whenever people comes to your farm and be like, ah, I love this farm settings and all that, and the smells are not that too high. You get what I'm saying? So that is why I said it's important to talk about farm management, which has to boil down to the maintenance, which has to come down to what's it called again, cleaning of the farm, the hygienic way of setting up the farm. I think with this, everything cannot be said in a day, but these are just the small tips I can tell you in setting up pig farming and all that. But these are very vital and very important. So with this, I believe getting a pig farm house or getting a pig farm business is a goal. Thank you.
Wow, wow, what an amazing session there. Like the whole session has been mind blowing, taking us from the beginning to the end. Like, I don't know if you enjoyed this session. Just leave a comment. Let us know if you really enjoyed this session because I'm blown away by the knowledge you shared from, especially the feed formulation, and then the vaccination, and then the heat period. It's a lot of things. I have my notes here with me. I've been jotting down a lot of things. So just before we go into the question and answer session, I want to quickly acknowledge everybody joining up from all over the world. So as you're coming in, let us know your name and where you are watching from, so we'll be able to identify with you. So I think the first person we have here is we have Faith Green. Faith Green is watching from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you, Faith Green, for joining us. We have Brenda Reynolds. Much love from South Africa. This farmers training is worth the time. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Brenda Reynolds. We appreciate you too for joining us. We have Malaki Masiko. Malaki Masiko. My name is Malaki Masiko. Much love from Uganda. I love watching you and thank you for joining us. I say I love watching. Okay. I love what you are doing. God bless you so much. That's what he's saying. Malaki Masiko from Uganda. Okay, we have Romeo Molossi say, hi, I'm watching from South Africa and I hope to learn a lot from this training on pig farming. Thank you, Romeo. Thank you. I hope Juliet is close by too. We have Johnson Otter. Johnson Otter is watching from Ogun State. Welcome, Johnson Otter. Welcome, Johnson Otter. We have Francis Etelbert. Francis Etelbert, all the way from Tanzania. Wow. Tanzania in East Africa. Welcome, welcome. We have Miriam Eze. Miriam Eze is watching us from Enugu State in Nigeria. Thank you for this wonderful training. Thank you too for joining us. A lot of people, you have Units Moment. I'm watching from Nigeria. The training is one of my favorite time investments this year. Wow, wow, wow. That is mind blowing. Thanks for your amazing comments. Like we have John Nelson watching from Enugu. Welcome, John Nelson. And a lot of people have been joining us. We have Justina Nengi. Justina Nengi, welcome. I'm watching from River State. Cheers. Cheers to you as well. We have Daniel James. Hi, Daniel James, watching from Anambra, Nigeria. Welcome to the show. Thank you. Thank you. We have Brian Noah. Brian Noah, good day, everyone. I'm Brian Noah from the UK. I'm here to learn about pig farming. Amazing stuff. All of you just keep dropping your comments, and we are going to project everything. I'll make sure I read them out as much as possible. Yeah, we have Endurance Osage watching from Graz, Austria, the coldest region, Austria. Wow. We have Prosper Samuel from Benue State. Welcome, Prosper. We have Esingwe Davido. Hi, guys. I'm watching from Bue, Cameroon. Wow, all the way from Cameroon. I hope you understand our English because I know, okay, there's still the English speaking part of Cameroon. Welcome, welcome. We have Lucia Imonige. Yeah, Lucia Imonige. I'm watching from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Welcome to the show. We really appreciate you. Asa Kennedy, nice work here. Watching from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us, Asa Kennedy. Thank you so much. If there are other comments, okay, Johnson Otta. All right, so this is a question. Our speaker, I think he must be having a little bit of network challenge. As soon as you join us, he's going to take question. So when processing the soya, do we roast the soya first before using the soya to process their feed? As soon as our speaker come up, he's going to work on that. So we have Frederick Ayodele. Frederick Ayodele is watching from Kaduna. Frederick Ayodele is watching from Kaduna. We have who else do we have there? We've seen Romeo Melosi. Okay, Romeo Melosi. Someone hires your pens. Can the person also pay for the upbringing of the pigs? Okay, our speaker is back. Thank you for joining us. Mr. James, can you hear me? Wow, I think we lost him again. We lost him again. Network is really a bit of a hazard at this point in time. But so far, what have you learned so far from our training? You could just leave a comment so we could interact. Leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed the training. Tell us how you feel about the training. Drop all of that in the comment, and make sure you're sharing the link with everyone you know. Share this broadcast because it's going to be live for some time. So you just share the broadcast, share the broadcast, share the broadcast. Let's see the comment. Let's go over the comments again. A lot of people asking a lot of questions. Yeah, new songs. Godfrey said, please, I want to start from the beginning. Can this video be rewatched after the program? Yes, of course. It should be. You can rewatch it as many times as possible. Okay, let's say for a very short period of time. But yes, you can still watch it. You can watch it after now, so you will get from everything that has been taught today. So Faith Green is saying, is it best to leave the baby pigs for at least 3 months? Yes, I think from the training, the speaker mentioned that. Okay, he's back again. James, what's going on with your network? Mr. James.
The network here is very bad. I'm sorry.
It's very, very, very terrible.
The weather today is just cloudy here today.
Oh. All right. So now that we have you online, a lot of questions that have been asked. I want us to go over it quickly before the network interrupts again. All right. So we'll start with this one on the screen right now. But before I jump into the question, I want to really, really appreciate you for the effort put into this video. Like without you, I'm sure this training is useless. Thank you for taking out your time out of your busy schedule to train us on how to start pig farming business. I know it's a good mind because I see you're looking so fresh. Is there money in pig farming? I like asking this because I like asking this question because a lot of people feel farming or agriculture is for poor people, right? But for people like you who are experts in this business, who have been engaged in one form of farming or another, you've experienced the high side and the low side. So I want to ask you, is there money in this business so we'll know whether it's something we should invest in?
Okay. In pig farming business, it is lucrative, very much lucrative, and among all livestock farming, or pig farming first before any other livestock farming.
Great. Thanks for that assurance. Now that we know that pig farming is a good and lucrative business, we've already seen how to start and all of that. Let's now take the questions from our audience. So the first question we have here is from Adesua. Okay, Aladesua Temilari say, can pig feeds on food waste like cooked rice? Okay, can pigs feed on food waste like cooked rice, beans, yams, etc.? Can you feed your pigs with, cooked rice, beans, yams, and
Okay,
other food waste?
I've seen the question. I've seen the question.
Okay, you can go on and answer that.
Yes, they can feed on those, but okay. I've seen the question already, and I'm saying that they can feed on those supplements as not the
Okay,
major. If you are using
okay,
that as your major feed, at times it's okay, but the rate at which they will grow, and again, the rate at which you want to sell out your animals depends on the time factor. But if you're
all
using
right.
that supplement, which is those boiled rice, the spoiled beans, or
Beans,
all
yeah.
these spoiled food supplements, it's not really that proper. You understand? But it's okay. It's okay in the
Okay,
sense that maybe you are running out of feed supplements in your farm. You can use
all
that
right.
for, just say, for the moment. But it's not that you are going
Oh,
to use it constantly every day in feeding them. Or in a way, you can still be using that maybe
mhm.
in maybe if you want to start feeding them twice in a day, you use the normal feed they're supposed to go with daily. Then in the evening, you give them all those remnants from maybe from
Remnants.
all these canteen, maybe party, all these feed left over from parties and all that. So, but let it
Yes.
not be the major feed supplement for their feeding.
All right, great. Amazing answer there. I believe Aladesua got that. So Faith Green is asking, she said, how much profit can one make from an average sized pig farm? I wonder what an average sized pig farm is, but let's use like 10 pigs. If you have 10 pigs in your farm, for instance, how much profit can one make from that on average, an estimate?
I
You
think
got the
you all
question?
get what I'm saying now.
Yes, we can you hear us? Can you hear me? Oh, I think the network is wow, wow, wow. The network is a bit of a challenge today. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. All right, so how much profits one can make? I can you hear me, Mr. James?
Okay, on average, now you're not going by one. You're not going by one. You're going by 10. Okay,
Yes,
but I'll add. Hello, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, based on what I'm saying, relative to the answer I'll give to that question, on what
Yes.
average amount can one generate in maybe after you might have sold off your animal, good and fine.
Mhm,
The amount it will take you to maybe after getting the animal, maybe from the piglet level, which is at the
yeah.
rate of maybe 6,000 or 5,005, depending on how much the farmer is going to be selling it out to you. One is that you need to know that there will be a particular amount to use in feeding it to marketable size. Or I tell you, maximally,
Okay.
it will not exceed 12,000 naira to raise to marketable size, both with the money in buying
All
it
right.
and also feeding it. That shows at that particular period of you selling it when it is on the marketable size, at least each should be going for. I stated it in the lesson that each
Lesson.
at least, meaning it is not at most. At least it should go for 18,000 naira, but at most for the period of 4 months you are fattening those animals, should go for at least
Yeah.
30,000, at most 30,000 naira.
Wow, 30,000, minimum 18,000. And the only expenses is about 12,000 naira, you said, per pig. Okay, I think we have international audience here and we are using the naira. Currently, the exchange rate for naira is about 460 naira. So you can break that 460 naira to a dollar and then break it down to 12,000 and then use it to, get the calculation for you. But then we'll just go to the next question from Romeo Molosim. He said, for those who are not Nigerians, please, are the names of the feed and nutrients you call general for all African countries. You mentioned some feed supplements like soya beans, PKC, and a lot of things. Is it general thing for all African countries?
It's an English name. Hello, it's an English name.
Okay.
Nobody will say he or she doesn't know soya bean. You understand? So generally, or
Mhm.
globally, soya bean is well known, maize is well known,
Yeah.
and the PKC I
Okay.
made mention of, I already gave its meaning. It's
Yes.
from palm
Palm kernel
kernel,
chop.
from palm
Okay, and you
kernel,
said it's cake.
from palm kernel chaff, or people call it palm kernel cake. So that's the
Cake.
PKC.
Yeah.
Any other food supplement you'll be using, it might be your own formula. You might decide to say, okay, I'm not going with what the formula I'm giving you. You might decide to use your own packages, like your own formula rather. Like maybe you want to
Mhm.
start using millet. Yes, millet
Yes.
can go for, maybe you want to use millet, you want to mix it with other feed supplements, or you want to use
Right.
feed from birds, you mix it with your soya bean, or you mix with other things.
Okay.
So all those things are just there. You can just decide to bring up your own formula and mixing for your feed. But importantly, PKC,
Mhm.
soya bean, blood
And
meal, most importantly, is essential.
okay.
So those is
Right.
globally known. They are English names. So it's not like a
Nice.
Nigerian or
Nice.
Yoruba name I'm talking about.
All right. All right. We get that. Let's take another question. We have question from Adesua Temileri. She say again, please, what's the minimum population density that you should be applied, when doing pig farming? And let's take that. She has like two questions here, so we'll take them one at a time. You say the minimum population density you should have in your pig farm.
Okay. Like what I'm understanding from this question is that what should be the number of animals one should go for, isn't it?
Come again.
Like the question says, what minimum population density should be applied when doing pig farming?
Yeah.
Like one is that, is it how many number of animal one is going for one, or how many number of animal is going to be in a particular pen? You
Pen.
get?
Yes. So what's the size
Uh-huh.
of the pen? Let's say
So
give a size of the pen and then the estimated number of pigs that
good.
should be there.
uh, what's it called, civically, like all this construction methodly, you can go for the normal size of a room, that's 12 by 12 room size, or you use
Okay.
10 by 10 room size, or you
All
use
right.
8 by 15 or 8 by 12, depending on
All right.
if it is for winning. Like a winning room is more bigger than other rooms. When I mean winning room now, winning room
Yeah.
simply means place whereby you transfer the piglet after being maybe you win them from their mother or from the source
Mother.
to a particular room
Sauce.
you want to sell,
Okay.
or you want to bring them up to a marketable size from there. So winning room
All right.
are always bigger than any
Mm.
other pen in the farm. So winning room should be at least going for that's about 15 by 20 or 20 by 15 in matter how you want to place your own winning. But normal pen should go for 10 by uh 12, or 10 by 10,
All right.
or 10 by
Okay.
8. And the
Yeah.
number of animals that's supposed to be in a pen, one,
Yes.
you have at least now at least 8, depending on how
Mm.
big the place is. At
Place is
most,
yes.
if you are going for 10 by 10, at most 15 should go. At most.
All right.
But you start from
15.
8 or at most 15.
All right. Let's see the B part of the question. She said, how many months does it take for the male pig to reach maturity and sexual maturity and market size?
And sexual, okay. It talks about market size and sexual
Maturity. Yes.
maturity.
The
Okay, good.
boas.
Normally I said after a sow have been given birth, it takes three what's it
Mhm.
called? It takes 2 months. Other farmers win 2 months. Me rather, I win 3 months, which is 12 weeks.
Okay.
So with this now, 12 weeks simply means 3 months.
Yeah.
Extra more 2 months makes my 5 months.
Mm.
Extra 3 months makes another farmer owns 5 months. At most, at most in 5 months they should start crossing
Yeah.
a sexual maturity, a sexual for a boa rather, they should start be able to climb as to cross the other at most 5 months.
5 months.
From
Okay.
5 months.
I think Ala this one is taking a lot of the questions today. She's really interested in this thing. So she's asking how much. She said, thanks for your answer so far. Wonderful one.
Okay.
But how much will it cost to start a pig farm, considering the cost of stocking, building, and all of that? Do you want to give her an estimate? I think she's Nigerian. She
Okay.
will understand this era.
Okay. This means that she wants to go for both the construction, both getting the animals, fattening them up, and selling them when it gets to marketable size. Now,
Yes.
I would like to go by, okay, if you want to go for, let's just say 50 animals as a average
Mhm.
number of animals now, 50 animals. Uh,
Yeah.
Approximately with the money for the pen house, maybe you need water, you need to drill water, um,
Yeah.
money for feeding to marketable size, at
Yes.
at least you should have uh 1.2 1.2 million naira for
Whoa.
50 animals, so that
Okay.
yes,
50.
for 50 animals,
Yes.
including the
Okay.
structure for those 50 animals, at least you should get
But
1.2 million naira.
that's like a one-off cost, right? That's like the first initial cost. Let's say the structure. Okay, she included the structure. So after the structure, what are the subsequent expenses that may be involved?
The only expense that after the structure is the feeding. Maybe probably you have a worker that will be also assisting you
Mhm.
over there. You also need to be
Yes.
paying your worker.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but if it's only you that want to carry out the work, if you can carry the, you can go on with the tax and every other thing. You just need 1.2 million naira to kickstart with.
All right, all right. So let's go to the next question. Thank you for that one. Romeo Molossi, she's asking, or he, I don't know. He said, if someone hire your pets, can the person also pay for the upbringing of the pigs? You mentioned something about hiring of
Uh, that
pets.
that's a nice question. Hiring of pen is
Okay.
another. Bringing up the
Mm-hmm.
pigs is another. You understand? They are
All
two
right.
different things. You can't match them together. You understand?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
definitely there are pens to hire.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing up the pigs is either you want to do it by yourself or you tell us
Yes.
to do it for you. So
Okay.
that is that.
All right. Thank you for that. So Brenda Renate is asking, sir, please, how do you get buyers for your pigs when they get to marketable size? How do you get buyers for your pigs?
Okay.
These people really want to
One
milk
thing
you.
I
They
keep
really want
telling
to milk
people.
you.
Okay, one thing I keep telling people, as far as
Yes.
Nigeria is concerned,
Yeah.
and Imo State is concerned, because currently our farm is located in Owerri, Imo State. Now you
Oh,
getting?
great.
As far as Imo
Yes.
State, Nigeria is concerned, selling or marketing our products is never a problem for us. I mean, there are
Yeah.
buyers every day, keep on calling for number of animals. You understand? Even in a day, you
Yes.
can sell out at least, let's just say, 50 animals from your farm. If you have that number of animals in a day, you can sell out
Yes.
50. There are people that want to buy even 100 at the spot, 100
Mm-hmm.
livestock at the spot, and they are ready to pay your money. Yes. So it
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
Do you have the products to sell? Is never a problem, because
Oh, great.
daily people eat pork daily here in our community and here in
Wow.
our
Wow.
environment here in
So
Nigeria, basically.
location really
So that's
matters in
just
general.
good. Another thing is location in generally.
Oh,
But I tell you, no matter where your farm is, as far as it is this country we are, as far as I'm talking about
yes.
Imo State now, generally,
Yes.
people that buy porks go far miles to go and get whatsoever they are looking
Get
for,
their pork.
as to sell out to and the last consumers. Yes, sell out to last
Yeah.
consumers. So that
So,
is just
so
that.
I want to ask, How about people living in like up north? I know there is it's a taboo for you know those in the Islamic religion to have anything to do with pig and
Islamic
all of
way.
that. Yes, yes. Is it how do you what do you advise
Okay.
people living in such community? Do you want them? Is it like they have to move, or is there a way around that?
Okay. Relative to my research, I will not talk much about.
Right.
I'll talk about my research and people I've met that have done pig
All
farming
right.
or buy pig. There are people that actually do pig farming over there in the north. You get. There are people
Oh,
that do pig farming over there in the north, and
yes.
not that they sell rapidly. That one is true. Although they sell, but
Yeah.
it's not as much as we in the east, west here. And so
Yeah.
and over there is more cheap, like it's affordable because number of people that goes for it are not much. You get. We're
Yeah.
here in the
Yes.
east, a lot of people that goes for it, and relative to the religion tagged on it that maybe pork is
Yeah.
not good or that.
Yeah.
That was then. That was then, not
Oh.
more now. That was then. A lot of people, a lot of Muslims now currently are even eating meat, pork meat. When I mean a lot of
Wow.
Muslims currently are eating pork meat. So
Okay. I think
that's
we'll not
just it.
just generalize on that, but that's fine. So let's just move to another question. But before we go to this question by the evidence, you said something about some investment plan that buypork.com, and do you want to explain that further?
Okay. I talked about buypork.com. It's the
Yes.
basic subsidiary of our company, which is
All
Just Dream
right.
Farm Enterprise. Aha. On our
Yeah.
platform, which is www.buypork.com, we enable
All right.
individuals, anybody that believes that he loves agriculture and also want to
Mm.
add to the society to invest through our platform, and we use those money to farm. We insure
Yeah.
them, like we get an insurance for those animals. After insurance, we feed them and we raise them to
Yeah.
marketable size, sell those animal
Mhm.
off. One, paying back investors return on investment with their capital, and
Nice.
also gifting 10% of the interest made from the investment to the less privileged in our society, in our community. That's the model of our company or of our basic subsidiary. That's just it.
Great, great. You are doing a good job, especially taking up your
Thank you.
community service. CSR is really important. Not every company think about their community service responsibility. But you
Yeah.
guys are doing it, even 10%. But after removing 10% from your profits, I hope you still have money left for you and your company.
There's still money. There's still money.
Oh,
There's
oh,
still
great,
money.
great, great. So let's go back to this next question from Undedim Evidence. It's asking, how many plots of land is best minimum for starting a pig farm?
Okay, how many plots of land is best minimum for pig farming?
Yes.
One is that I always go back to the same thing. It depends on
Mhm.
how many number of animals you are going for.
Yeah. Good.
Because
All
if
right.
you are going
Great.
for 1,000 number of animals, you don't expect to farm them on one plot of land.
No,
You get.
never.
If you are going for 500,
Very
you don't even
independent.
if you are going for, let's just say 200, you don't expect to farm them
Yes.
maybe half plots or two pens. Not at all.
That.
It depends on the
All
number
right.
of animals you are
So
going
it's
for. Will
dependent.
not tell you. Yes, it will not tell you that,
Mm-hmm.
okay, see the number of pens you are going for
Lot.
or the number of
Okay.
plots you are going for, and that's just it.
Yeah. All
So
right. Great.
nothing
Great.
much about
So
that.
let's go to the next question because of time. We have Alade Swat again. He said, "Thank you very much for all the answers." She asked a lot of questions. This person has asked a lot of questions today. He said, "I really appreciate. Can you please explain to us, sir, how you can identify diseases or weakness in pigs and how each of these diseases can be treated? So, how do you identify diseases in pig
Okay.
farming?"
uh how you can identify diseases or weakness from any of your
Yes.
animals. One is, if you look at your animal, maybe you come in a particular day into your farm, you go
Yes.
through your animal, you saw their hair is like floating, like it's coming up. One, I don't know how I can explain this. The hair, like, they are not that fresh the way they're supposed to be. Their hair is just standing one after the other. You should know that one is either cold that is affecting such an animal.
Okay.
And when cold is affecting such an animal, it need an oral medication to help it long
Lungs. All right.
for
Good,
survival.
good.
And again, you look into their dungs. The dungs at times, if it is watery, you know that is
Yeah.
diarrhea. They need medicine for that too. You need to deworm them because there are. If you look at their body, you can see some rashes on their body, and
Yeah.
those rashes can cause is an what I call it an endoparasite. As far as an endoparasite is in their body, you need a deworm medicine for them. That deworm medicine will help them to remove to heal their body structure. And again, I made mention of the deworm medicine is Evernorm. If you go to any veterinary store, you
Oh.
ask for it. And again, they need vitamin too for strengthening of their body. And I made mention of LA. LA simply means long lasting medicine. But
Oh.
what I say medical name for it is tetracycline. If you go to a
Oh.
medical a veterinary store, you ask for
Yes.
tetracycline for animals,
Is it the
they
same
will give
one
it
that
to you.
human take?
You
Is it the
said
same tetracycline that? Is it the same tetracycline that we get
not
from?
that one. Not that one.
Oh, humans are players too.
There
Impressive.
is
I just
another
want to,
tetracycline
make
for
everybody
animal,
know.
but
All
it
right.
is
All right.
it's actually it's going to be giving them like it's not an oral injection now. It's through normal is
Yes.
that through their labs or through their skin is
Okay.
going to be giving them
All
that's
right.
an injection. If you cannot do it properly and you don't want to learn
Yes.
about how you can go about treating them, I made mention of going for
Mm-hmm.
someone that is
A vet,
inclined in animal science
animal
or
science.
a
Yes, you
veterinary
mentioned
doctor
that.
to help you out.
Yes.
But definitely, you will see weakness in those animals, and you don't need to take them lightly. They can, although pigs have stronger immune system,
Immune
they can
system. Good.
withstand diseases. That's sure, but not because they can withstand disease and you stop not to treat them. That's very bad. You understand?
That's good.
When you are
Yeah.
seeing those weaknesses and you're seeing some changes, try and get a medical care for them. And I believe with time, it's over.
All right. Okay. Another question here from Frederick Ayodele. He said, what if one wants to start on low key with like 10 animals? Like how much we want need to start with? I think that was one you were mentioning like 1.2 million or so for 10
I
animals.
said 50 animals, not 10.
Oh, 50. All right. So for 10, for
Yes.
10, for 10. Somebody.
And now for the 50 animals, construction is included.
All right.
Are you
So how
getting?
about for 10?
But
Both
now,
construction and all of that.
if this person is going for 10 animals, one
Mm-hmm.
is either he or she is trying to breed it and sell it off without maybe they are going to be reproducing and all that. A pen is
Yeah.
enough for those animals.
One
One pen
pen.
is
All
enough for
right.
those 10 animals. That person don't need to
All
start going for building. He can just get a place. He can what's it called? Breed them up to a marketable size, and before you see it, and how much rather will go for that stuff should be no more than 250,000 naira for those 10 animals for a start.
all right.
250 for those 10 animals.
All right, great answers have been provided so far. I'm not seeing any other question again. But if there's any question, you can reach out directly to Mr. James. I hope you can reach you for questions
Yes, definitely. The email is displaying on what's it called on
on the
the
screen.
platform too, and that's our
All right. So
website
if you
too
have
there.
any further question, you visit bipoc.com or send an email to their email address bipocafrica@gmail.com. Can we call your phone number as well?
Definitely, it's 24/7.
So its line is open 247 plus two three
Yeah,
four 8100 317 388. So you can always reach out to him or visit bipop.com. For those of you who wish to invest in pig farming, probably you have the capital, but you are not so conversant with how to do this thing. You can always reach out to BIPOC. Go to bipop.com. You can invest there. I think more questions are coming up now, but we are going to take them shortly. So make sure you visit bipop.com. BIPOC, not the
pure.
BYPORK.com,
Okay.
right?
Yes, yes.
BYPORK.com. Visit bipop.com and start investing in pig farming. How long does it take for someone to get return on his investment? I just say I should ask that. Or are those details
From our
provided?
platform during on our platform,
Yeah.
we when we launched, we did it for 6 months. When
Oh,
we launched, that was September. We did it for 6 months.
yeah.
But currently, we are doing it for 8 months. At the end of 8 months, every investor gets back its capital and its
Capital.
investment interest. That's return on investment. That's a cycle for now, 8 months.
All right, great, great. So, is there any specific period when one needs to invest, or you can invest at any time of the day, anytime, any day?
There's no a specified time for now. You can invest anytime. Just go on to the web platform, uh, click investment button, and you are one way to our link, and that's all. Nothing much.
All right, visit bipop.com and start your investment in pig farming today. So let's take more questions. We have Idewoma Idewoma, you say, good, great. You've been doing amazing job here. So you mentioned some drugs, all right. So are we limited, to use those drugs, or are there other derivatives that we can use?
Yes. Basically, there are no limitations if there is a veterinary store. One. Two, if you want to use local methods, although I don't make mention of local methods, there
Local
are also
methods,
local
yes.
method of treating or keeping those animals well.
Mm-hmm.
There are leaves which they eat. That one is specified to us. Like that's one of the things we know. There are here in
All right.
I don't know how to say it in English, but here in Igbo language we call it opete. Uh-huh.
Okay.
We call it opete. Opete is for antibiotics, and it helps.
All right.
Yes, opete is an
Yes.
antibiotics. It helped them as well. And again, there is another one for blood. It's reddish in color. Uh-huh. So all those things are the local way of keeping them healthy. If you don't want to go for maybe drugs or vent stuffs.
All right. All right. So great. Aladeswa is active again. God bless you, sir. Please, assuming as a beginner, one does not have much money to build pen, can one practice semi-extensive method of housing? You want to explain that to us?
Yes, yes, that's a very good question. And as I can see,
Yes.
Miss Adesunwa, I believe she or he wants to go deeply into pig farming. Yes, you
Deeply,
can
like the
go
question
into
is,
semi-extensive method of housing or method of farming. Yes,
yeah.
in a way, you don't need to. Maybe if you don't have money for cementing blocks and all that, planks. But most
Yeah.
importantly, you just have to flood the ground. You can get
Oh,
wood, put them so that those animals will not have chances of maybe getting out. Security is most important in any business one is going for. So if you don't have enough
all right.
money maybe to start doing fencing, building with blocks and other cementing materials, you can just go for
Yeah.
less. And what I can say again is that just go for lease. You can lease out a particular maybe 3 pence or 4 pence.
Okay.
It will help you for a
From,
start. From the
from
money you
other
generate
pig
from
farmers,
leasing, you can now get, yes, you can, from the money you generate from where you leased, you can gradually start building your own. Everything in life is poco a poco, little by little. So that's just it.
right? All right, great. We have another question from new song Godfrey. Say, what is the interest rate? What's the interest rate?
Okay. Uh we have the rate of 20%, we have 25, and we have 30, depending on the amount the individual investor is going for. We have 20% for 100K to 500K. We have 25 from
Wow.
600 downward, and above 2 million naira is 35, 30%.
Wow, big money, big money. All right. Any more questions? I believe we've treated a lot. Like, thank you so much for your time. This is amazing
Okay.
so far from
No, there's
the whole
nothing.
practical
It's
session.
just God.
Wow, wow. You're really knowledgeable in this stuff. I wish I just take your brain and put it in my brain and every other farmer that is live on this broadcast.
It's,
It's been
it's,
wonderful.
it's okay.
So, thank you so much for
It's okay.
joining us in this meeting. in the absence of any question, okay, Adesua, she's saying thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very
No,
much.
she's
I really
complimenting. I can
appreciate
see that too.
it. So
Yeah,
she said thank you very, very much. She really appreciate, and a lot of
okay,
other comments that we may not be able to take now. So it's been
no
wonderful.
problem.
Maybe one more time, just tell us about your business, who you are, so our audience can get to meet you, and then you give your last words before
Okay,
you intend to start the pig
okay.
farming business.
Uh, that's okay. Once again, I'm James Emeka Jeremiah, uh, the CEO and one of the co-founders of BIPOC, the basic subsidiary of Jet Green Farm Enterprise. And BIPOC is a subsidiary where we involve individuals to invest into pig farming. We use those money to farm animals, basically pigs, and we gift back invest less privileges in our community after paying
Yeah,
the return on investment to every investors. So that's the summary of BIPOC. Nothing much for now. And I pray that whenever or when you want to kickstart your business, it's going to be
yeah,
an awesome one. And God will always be with you.
yes,
Thanks very much.
amen. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much for this amazing time. So we have come to the end
Yeah,
of this session. I want to really
yeah.
appreciate every one of you who have stayed to this time. Thank you, Mr. James, for your time, for your resources, for your
You're welcome.
everything you put into doing this. We really appreciate you. So thank our
You're welcome.
viewers from all over the country. I saw Uganda, Tanzania, UK, South Africa, Cameroon. All of you, thank you very much for joining. One thing I want you to do for me now before you go, please click on the share button and share this broadcast on social media, on your WhatsApp, share it with everybody so we have more people joining the pig farming business. This is an opportunity, free information right here, and a lot of opportunities that have been shared on this platform. So don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. So if the subscribe button is still red in your own part, please click on the red subscribe button, turn on notifications. So whenever we go live, you'll be the first to be notified. Until see you next time, God bless Africa.
Okay. Thank you. Oh,
Bye.
God.